Aaliyah kept going back, forth and forth between the men in her life. Or maybe it was the men around her that kept going back and forth with each other. Before her untimely death in 2001, rumors surrounding Aaliyah's relationships with hip-hop and R&B's biggest moguls were made public, to which to our avail may or may not have turned out to be true. What really happened between Jay and Aaliyah? Did their alliance lead to the fall of Jay's label RocAFella? Was Jay complicit in R.Kelly's abuse? How did Dame Dash get involved, and where the hell are Aaliyah's parents? Love was involved, feelings were hurt, and friendships were lost. You all ready? Because we're about to dive deep into one of the most media-driven love triangles of the early 2000s to see what really went down. Aaliyah Houghton was just 12 years old when she got her first record deal with Jive and Black Brown Records, more infamously known as her uncle's label. Her uncle would introduce her to a young R.Kelly, who would later become her lead songwriter and producer on her debut album Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. On the surface, Aaliyah's career seemed to be doing just fine, but behind the scenes, her personal life was quite the roller coaster. Darkness was surely lurking. Not too long after her album debut, R.Kelly would be seen everywhere with her and would appear on several talk shows and interviews alongside her, with the duo sometimes even dressing alike. If that isn't a huge red flag, viewers also took notice of how Aaliyah would act around Kelly. Rumors began to circulate about the pair's odd relationship, to which they both routinely deny. Suspicions rang true when the public found out sometime in 1994 that 27-year-old R.Kelly had secretly married the one-in-a-million singer at just 15 years old in a private ceremony on August 31st. He had allegedly bribed an Illinois official to allow the ceremony to take place. After this was made public, Aaliyah was told to cut professional ties with Kelly immediately, and in 1995, Aaliyah's parents had the marriage annulled. Her uncle made sure the two never worked or were seen together publicly, and by 1997, the marriage would be expunged from her record. Jay-Z had recently started his own record label, RocAFella, sometime in 1999. He'd taken a liking to Aaliyah, even though Aaliyah was only around the tender age of 18, and Jay around 30. They were friendly towards each other and would be seen at events along with other industry folks. Despite their sometimes lovey-dovey appearance and the public speculations, those closest to the singer say that the relationship between her and Jay was strictly casual business. Down the road, or should I say on the other side of the meeting room, RocAFella co-founder Damon Dash was introduced to Aaliyah through an accountant in the year 2000, and the two would often cross paths at label events and parties. They'd begin an innocent friendship that would later transpire into something much more. At least that's what Damon wants us to believe. Dame says that Aaliyah was a whole lot of fun and always clicked whenever they were together. To make the story short, it was a party whenever she was around. Around this time, Jay and Dame were still business partners, but they weren't on the best of terms. Jay reportedly wanting to venture out on his own, which made Damon feel some type of way. He felt as though Jay was being sneaky, making deals behind his back, and making other business moves without his approval. Although it's never been confirmed nor denied, the public speculated if Aaliyah's involvement with both men played a factor as to why Dame and Hov's relationship began to dwindle. As time passed, Dame admitted that he had accidentally fell in love with Aaliyah. According to him, the relationship started off as mutual friends, but gradually built into something more. In a 2015 interview with Hip Hop Motion, he goes into further detail.
And we just won 4th of July, just worked out. You know what I'm saying?
With an interview with Page 6 magazine, he also reportedly claimed that the 99 Problems rapper had his sights firmly set on the R&B singer first. He worked hard. I didn't want to fall in love with Aaliyah. She was so cool, but you know, we were both going hard. Everyone was just trying to get to Aaliyah. It wasn't just Jay. She was just cool as hell. We would laugh. There was never any obligation or any title. Just liking being around somebody for who they are. I was not in love with Aaliyah through the television. I fell in love with her from hanging out and meeting her. She looked different than Aaliyah on the TV screen. Dash went on to say that he had no idea Jay had been pursuing Aaliyah. I did not know Jay was trying to holler at her, but then it just happened like that. He was trying, I was trying, everybody was trying, he was going hard. According to Dame, R. Kelly's past actions played a role in the mid-2000s rift between him and Jay. In the 6-part Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, Dame sat down with Kenyatta Griggs and gave exclusive details about what went down between Aaliyah, Jay, and Robert.
And I remember Aaliyah trying to talk about it, and she couldn't.
Dame states she would just leave it at, that dude was a bad man, and I didn't really want to know what he did to the extent that I might feel the need to deal with it, just cause that's what a man does.
This was so much hurt for her to revisit it. It was like, I wouldn't even want to revisit it without a professional.
Whatever got done was terrible. He addressed his silence surrounding Aaliyah and Kelly's relationship and how it affected his own business. I've been tight about this shit for years.
So to be honest, like, if you remember the best of both worlds, you don't see my name on that.
I never wanted no part of that. So when R.Kelly was doing that, I told Jay-Z, bro, you know our homie violated and he violated my girl. He violated a friend of yours. So you know, when Jay-Z moved forward with the project, to me,
I was like, yo, I don't want no parts of that.
what really stuck a needle in the coffin for Dame was when Jay and Kelly decided to plan a mutual Best of Both Worlds tour, also the name of their collaborative album, but things didn't go as planned. Kelly claimed that someone in the audience had pointed a gun at him, which resulted in him cancelling the entire show. He ended up being threatened off the tour and pepper sprayed by someone in Jay's camp. All of this resulted in Kelly suing Jay for millions of dollars down the road. With the stories Dame Dash has given over the years, it sounded like his relationship with Aaliyah was a true fairy tale, match made in heaven that lasted for years, but in reality, it only lasted a little over a year, if that. He's been seen on numerous reality TV shows like Growing Up Hip Hop, where he reminisces about his past relationship and 2 decades later seems to still be hung up on Aaliyah. I mean, aren't we all? But some seem to think he may be a little too hung up. Just take a look.
I noticed when she's trying to figure me out, she talks.
Jay made a remix to Aaliyah's song Miss You, to which he dedicated the song in her memory. As we all know, he went on to marry Beyonce Knowles sometime in 2008 and hasn't come out to speak on any affairs between him and Aaliyah. Given that he's Beyonce's husband, we aren't surprised to have found absolutely nothing. Everyone knows the Carters are more private than the FBI. People say Jay's relationship with the songstress was nothing more than a business relationship with a little flirting on the side, but I guess we'll never truly know how Aaliyah felt. And R.Kelly, the aftermath of his and Aaliyah's relationship wasn't met with as much backlash as you'd probably expect. He still went on to have a pretty successful career until, well, you know. Aaliyah has never outright denied being married to R.Kelly. Whenever asked in interviews, she seems to bounce around the question or noticeably shut the question down altogether, and we don't blame her. Aaliyah was a very private person when it came to her personal life and never disclosed much, though we want to hear from you. Do you think Dame and Aaliyah's relationship would have lasted long, or do you think it was just a fun fling? Let us know what you think about this love square down below in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on whose love life we're going to dissect next.